My name is Dan Wood. I'm a consultant urologist with a specialist interest in adolescent and reconstructive urology. I met Ian through a patient charity organisation called My Trophanoff Support that I've been working with for a number of years. Ian had had bladder surgery a number of years beforehand and was starting to run into trouble with his Trophanoff. A Trophanoff is a channel that you use to drain your bladder. As a result of that, we were able to help Ian at University College by looking after his Trophanoff, and we'll continue to look after him for the foreseeable future.
My name is Ian Nash, and I've had a Trophanoff urinary diversion for the last 12 years. I was 48, having a normal life, held down a mad job, supported a family, had really active hobbies, flying aeroplanes, walking up hills. And my symptoms really were not obvious at all. A little bit harder to pass water, a bit tired, a bit of a pot tum. And the weekend before I was ill, I was actually walking up Scarfell with my son, where I can remember thinking that I needed to get a bit fitter and maybe lose a little weight. A week later I was rushed into hospital where they drained 3.5 litres of urine out of my bladder, and I was a few hours from renal failure and dying, so things went serious very quickly. It became obvious that I couldn't catheterise either because I couldn't stand the pain, and I kind of ended up with having a Trophanoff diversion by Professor Mundy in London. But after that I dropped into a new routine and pretty much led a normal life, doing normal things with very little real limitations at all, until a couple of years ago when suddenly one day I just couldn't get the catheters in. And I was becoming quite desperate and didn't really know what to do. So that's when I found my Trophanoff Support charity, and it was here that I met Dan Wood for the first time. You know, the relief was just overwhelming. I've gone from desperation to finding this guy, and he's absolutely there for me the first time we meet, and I remain grateful to this day for that lucky break, because that definitely was the turning point. Dan absolutely on top of it. In fact, he then got me in for an operation very promptly and resolved the issue first time. But I was really grateful for was on the day Dan came and explained in great detail what we were going to do, what we're likely to find, what the options were. But more importantly for me, afterwards he came and explained exactly what he'd done and what the prognosis was and all the details. And I felt in really capable, safe hands then. So Dan's organised through his PA regular follow-up appointments, not that often but regular, and I continue to benefit from his advice. So surgery-wise there's been nothing to do, but Dan's introduced me to urinary care team and other people as well who've been able to help me out through sort of other issues. So I'm kind of left feeling really that Dan cares passionately about what he does, but also about the total care and the aftercare and the whole wrap. And that's not always that common in my experience. The other thing is Dan's also kept my local consultant up to speed, and they're now synchronised, as well as my GP, and that means that my local care is now as good as it can be. So basically Dan is my lifeline. I've been able to continue to work until my recent retirement at 60. I keep flying my aeroplane, including aerobatics, and I ride my motorbike, and I do all the normal things that I could have done, and I just couldn't ask for any more than that, to be honest. So I would fully and wholeheartedly recommend Dan.